investigating this reprehensible act. And then finally on Ukraine, Secretary Kerry indicated to Foreign Minister Lavrov last week when they spoke, "We are gravely concerned by the sharp increase in attacks by combined Russian separatist forces across the ceasefire line in eastern Ukraine. These attacks continued this weekend, including to the east and north of Mariupol, apparently in an attempt to threaten that city. There can be no mistake about who is responsible. Russia and the separatists are launching these attacks, just as they escalated the conflict last August. OSCE reports show that the majority of ceasefire violations are committed by combined Russian separatist forces in direct violation of the Minsk agreements. We continue to urge an immediate ceasefire and full implementation of the Minsk obligations. And we further remind that efforts by Russia and the separatists to grab more territory will be met with further costs." With that, Brad?
Just following up on Thailand.
You want to go around Turkey?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So the Pentagon is expanding drone flights over a number of countries, including Ukraine. Do you know what is driving this, and are you concerned, because that's expanding lethal power as well, that the U.S. can get drug into this more militarily?
Drug into Ukraine. I'm not, again, I'd refer you to the Pentagon to speak to what they do from a manned and unmanned air system perspective. That's not my place. But nothing's changed about our approach to what's going on in Ukraine. You just heard my statement there about the increasing attacks we saw over the weekend and our concern about that, and that right now our assistance to Ukraine still is on the non-lethal side, but we continue to look at.
Does it include drone surveillance?
I'm not going to get into the specifics. Again, that's a military prerogative. I think I'd have to speak to it.
There's going to be violations submitted by the Eastern rebels as well about Ukraine violations. Do you condemn those as well, related to heavy?
I think I said this pretty clearly in my opening statement. And it's not just coming from me. The OSCE has determined that the vast majority of these attacks are coming from Russian separatist areas onto Ukrainian areas. Now, if the Ukrainians fire back, they're doing it in self-defense, and they have the right to do that.
But Ukraine is violating it. You can see it in majority, which is, the other side questions. But what about Ukraine's violations?
We have talked about this ad nauseum, and the vast majority of the attacks are coming from the Russian separatist side. Ukraine has a right to defend itself. Obviously, what we want from all parties here is to abide by Minsk, which means you withdraw and the violence stops, and you start sitting down and talking about a settlement going forward. But make no mistake of where the vast majority of these attacks are coming from. Michael?
John, can I